Hi, welcome to Old Guys Gentlemen Flex Fountain Pens, episode number 35, I think. And this will be on the Pilot Vanishing Point. It's not a flex pen, but it's a cool pen, and it's become one of my regular pens, and so it gets to be part of my channel. I got this in Porto, Portugal. I was a little surprised. During the vacation I was checking in various places like England and Spain and in Portugal. And Portugal seemed to have the least by far amount of fountain pen places. But I did come across this one place in Porto. I was really looking for vintage pens, but just about no one except for the first person, Pen Friendly in London, had vintage pens. But this one is just a cool pen. It does not have a cap. It has a button. For those of you who are familiar with this will be no new news to you. But the nib itself just pops out like that. It's a little thing. This happens to be an extra fine. Kind of see how it pops out. There's a little door in there. And then when you push the nib through, nib comes out. Door goes back in and protects the nib. So you would typically carry it like this anyhow, in a pocket. But I think even if you carry it like this, you wouldn't suffer any ink leakage. But this way you won't see any. This thing is got an interesting design. Almost lost it. Right now there's a cartridge in it, but it also came with a converter. The converter holds a good amount of ink, but this holds a lot more. And so what I'm doing is just reusing this cartridge and then refilling it using one of these things. The other advantage of this is you can see the amount of ink that you have left in there pretty easily, where with the converter a lot of that is covered up and it's difficult to see, in my opinion. Alright, so it is 5.5 inches long. The section diameter down here is about 7/16 of an inch. It's pretty comfortable to write with. Like I said, it's extra fine. I think it's broadened a little bit since I've had it. So right now I get anywhere between double extra fine and extra fine on a Western scale. If I push a little bit, I can get broader strokes up to medium plus. It's really nice and smooth, and you can see just a little bit of line variation, but as you'll see later, it's so minimal that it's really not worth doing, and I probably don't want to be bending the nib at all. So basically this is just a straight non-flex pen. It does have a little bit of spring in it, but I'm not going to be using that, although it's kind of a softer writing experience, which is surprising for such a small nib. It is I'd say that's medium wetness, just enough. It doesn't put a whole lot of ink down, which is fine by me. I'd actually done this before, made some mistakes. That seems to be my thing for these things recently. But let me do a little bit more writing here. So just a nice, reliable, carefree pen that looks kind of nice, gives me a fairly fine line when I draw with it. This has a permanent home in the shoulder bag that I carry almost daily. So it's like my second most used pen. With the Kaweco Sport is in my pocket all the time, so this is like on-the-go emergency drawing, writing. This is journal usage that I usually keep in the bag that I was talking about. And then I have all my, this is just a partial collection, but all my flex pens up here for when I want to get a little bit fancier on in my journal or in cards or letters and things like that. So anyhow, I hope that provided some good information for you. It's a nice pen. I'm glad I've got it. And I guess that's it. Until next time, thanks for watching.